What's up? um, all right, so I'm going to talk about how much I'm making over this 2 weeks. So, for anybody who hasn't watched the videos, oh, and check this out, pizza, man. I think it's been sitting in this warmer for at least 5 hours. I don't know how good of a picture quality that is, but it's like imagine pizza that's been sitting out for like 5 hours is just dried out. That's dinner. That's what happens when I run out of food in the truck and I have to start living out of the fucking truck stops. That's the kind of food you eat. Um, I'm at a. I got lucky. There's a really nice little gas station mini truck stop here, about 5 miles. I think it's exactly 8 miles from the Walmart that I'm delivering to. I'll get to the money and stuff here in a second. I was back of the enveloping, like just off the top of my head, like how much money, while I was doing that driving video, like how much money I'd been making over the last couple weeks. And now I actually broke it down and I have exact numbers, how much. But, yeah, I was driving by it and I looked over and I saw this brand new gas station with a truck parking lot in the back, and I was like, like, the special effects budget for this channel is quite high. So luckily they had a second entrance. I guess that they knew I was going to notice it just at the last second and slam on my brakes to make the turn. And I turned in at the second entrance that was a little bit further down, and pulled in here, and it looks like there's just a bunch of locals using the place. I don't see any over-the-road drivers here. There's just a bunch of belly dumps that are with day cabs filling up half the spots here. Half the spots are empty. Half the spots have belly dump day cabs in them. So anyway, let's switch over to the spreadsheet, and I'll try to explain this. So this right here is all that I did my first week out. And for anybody who doesn't know the drama, I've had multiple loads canceled. I've had multiple loads that I requested, and then after the fact, they told me that for whatever reason, I couldn't have that load. It was a dedicated load that shouldn't have been on the load board, or it was already assigned to somebody like 8 hours ago, and it shouldn't have been on the load board. There were multiple loads that should not have been on the load board that I was able to request. Now, I can't verify their excuses on why they keep pulling loads off of me or refusing to give me loads. I don't have any way of verifying. I just have to take their word for it on like why they pull loads off of me. But I've had a ton of drama over these couple of weeks that I'm out. It's been a little over a week right now. I'm gonna be back home. Let's see. When does the Tulsa load deliver? It delivers. Well, it picks up on the 28th, and I can deliver it. It's a drop, so I can deliver it as soon as I get there. I have to have it there by the 30th, and the 30th is Sunday. I guarantee you I'm going to have it there Saturday. So it's going to be a full week. I'm going to be, going through Saturday. I'm picking it up on the 28th. It's 568 miles. Yeah, that thing's going to be there Saturday. So, basically what I'm doing here is I'm breaking down how much money I'm going to make over this 2-week period. I'm just going to be out for 2 weeks, and I'm going to be back at the house. So I left my house Sunday morning of last week, which would be, let's see, not Sunday yesterday, which today is the 24th, not yesterday the 23rd, but the 16th. Yesterday I'd been out for 1 week. And I'm going to be out until basically the 29th. So almost exactly 2 full weeks out on the road. And this is what I'm going to have to show for it. Now, I'm not too terribly thrilled with these numbers. but I think they're pretty solid. They're respectable. I could have done better if I didn't have several loads fall through. There was just a whole bunch of drama, and I'm only halfway through the week, but I have. Let me tell you where I'm at on the loads. These 3 loads up here at the top, those are done. Those are the loads that I did in week 1. That was all I was able to do in week 1 because of all the load issues. This load right here, I technically did that load in week 1, but I delivered it in week 2. I got to the delivery location Saturday around noon, but I couldn't deliver it until Sunday morning. And Saturday at midnight is the cutoff for the week. So because I delivered it Sunday morning, it fell into week 2. This is the load that I delivered, Sunday morning. And this load right here is the one that I picked up today, this morning, and I'm at the delivery location right now. And I deliver it at 9 a.m. tomorrow, roughly. 9:45 a.m. is my delivery appointment. So, and it's a Sam's Club, which is a Walmart. So I have a 1-hour window to arrive. So I need to arrive between 8:45 and 9:45 a.m. This is the load that I'm picking up after that load. Wait a second. No. That's the load going home. This is the load that I'm picking up after that load. I have the pickup times and everything on my phone. There it is. That's not really important for what we're doing right here. But I'm curious now. Dayton to Scottsville. Because now I'm thinking, like, when... So, the appointment is at 4 p.m. Tuesday at 4 p.m. And the delivery is the 27th at 8 p.m. And then this one, you know what? I'm actually going to go look at the video and see what the video says on this load, on the pickup time for this load right here. This is the one going to Kentucky. So basically, the short version is this is week 1, this is week 2. These 4 loads. I have not done 2 of these loads. I'm at the delivery location for this load. I deliver it tomorrow. And then I pick up this load going to Kentucky tomorrow afternoon. And then the day after I deliver this load, I pick up this load in Kentucky going to Tulsa. Tulsa's 100 miles from my house. I'm going to do home time after I deliver this. It's a drop-loaded trailer. So as soon as I can get there, I'll drop the trailer and then head to my house. It's only 568 miles. So I'm expecting that I'm going to have enough time left on my clock to make it all the way to my house after the trailer drop, because I can do 700 miles in a day across Missouri and places like that that have 70, 75 mile an hour speed limits. But anyway, we're talking about how much I made over these 2 weeks. And again, some of this is theoretical because I haven't done these 2 loads yet, and I've had a lot of loads cancel on me. My theoretical first week should have been $6,000. I should have made close to $6,000 in week 1, but I had a lot of loads cancel, and I was left at the last minute looking for the scraps. I was looking through the scraps to try to find a load to make something work because of canceled loads and all kinds of other drama. So because of that, my week 1 gross pay is $36.46. Now, what is this $36.46? What is the gross pay? That is on my settlement, that would be the total amount of money that I'm paid, minus any deductions. That is my total pay. For week 2, it'll be $58.29. Now, again, one of these loads kind of split between the between the 2 weeks, where I did all the driving on week 1. I turned it in. I delivered it on week 2. So whenever you take these 2 weeks and you divide them and you add them together and then divide them by 2, the total amount that I made in the 2 weeks that I was out was $9,475.82. So I made $36.46 in week 1, $58.29 in week 2, and for the total 2-week period that I was out, or that I will be out, because this is future talk here, because like I'm an oracle, is $9,475.82, which when you divide that by 2, basically the weekly average for those 2 weeks, it's $4,737.91 a week. So how much am I actually going to make on that? My total expenses, just off the top of my head, I haven't like itemized it and figured out exactly what my expenses would be, but I'm going to tell you this is going to be a very close approximation. My expenses for that 2-week period, now this is fuel, tolls, my insurance, my tax, everything is going to be roughly $2,000 for that 2-week period. Which means that my bring home out of $94.75 would be approximately $74.75. I'm going to bring home into my checking account approximately, like after clearing all expenses, not talking about taxes, I'm not talking about bring home after taxes, which is a pointless conversation. This is after all business expenses, how much money I make is going to be approximately $74.75. You divide that by 2 on a weekly average, then that is roughly $3,737. $3,700 a week, roughly, is how much I made per week after all expenses out here on the road. And I'm not too terribly thrilled with the way things have worked out being out here, because I've had a lot of negative things happen. I've had a lot of drama I've had to deal with. But I've done the best I can with the hand I was dealt, and I think that it turned out okay. The final is okay. I really think I could have done $11,000 or maybe even up to $12,000 over these 2 weeks if everything would have like gone perfect and loads wouldn't have fallen through and stuff. I think because I'm not going to like digress over into the what ifs, but I was really set up on the loads leaving my house, and it was nice. Like my first week should have easily been over $6,000 if I didn't have a very crucial load cancel on me. Basically, my whole week revolved around me going into a really bad market, Pennsylvania, and I had a load that was paying really well, taking me to a really good market, Atlanta. And that just it made it to where usually what you have to do is you have to hop from, bad market to good market to bad market to good market, like that right there. But I was going from a bad market and getting a good rate going to a good market, and then I got not only, it was a doubly good load. The load that canceled on me was a doubly good load. Not only was it a good load, a good paying load coming out of a bad market, but it was also going into a good market. So, it was an amazing load. And that's the load that canceled on me that just totally fucked up my whole week. Because then I was left scurrying for scraps in a bad market. It was a load taking me out of Pennsylvania down to Atlanta. It was a 600-something mile load, like 620 miles, paying $2,700. So it was what's that? That's $4.50 a mile almost a $5. Well, no, not almost five, like 450, 470 a mile. Now that's the full rate. That's not how much I make. I get 65% of that. But when I'm looking at loads, I look at the full rate. And then when I start deep diving into them, then I look at how much I'm making on the load. But I just kind of, when I'm glancing at loads, looking to see which ones are good or bad, I'm looking at the full line haul rate, and I'm looking, I'm doing that quick math in my head. The line haul rate divided by the number of miles. How good is this load? But that's where we're at. It was a fairly solid couple of weeks. Hopefully no other loads fall through, and I'm able to make it back to the house. I'm going to be making it back to the house on Saturday, which means that I'm not going to be able to go straight to the APU dealer. Once we get later in the week to where I am more certain of what my schedule is going to be, then I'm going to call the APU place. I'm still uncertain which one I'm going to go to. I'm leaning toward Big Rig Products this time because I'm just sick and fucking tired of W&B. They charge astronomical prices, and their competency, their skill, their product doesn't match up with how much they charge for it. So I'm going to have to schedule out in advance because Big Rig Products is booked out like a week in advance. So I'm going to hit up Big Rig Products and go in there and throw money at them and tell them to make that APU work. And hopefully I get my APU working. While I'm at the house, I might also take the truck over and get the cab realigned. I think I might do both of those. And then the only other major thing left to do after that will be the sensor. And I'll do that out on the road because the dealer in town in Oklahoma City, I will not do business with them. Bruckner's, no, I will not ever do business with them again. I yelled and screamed and cursed at them. I got really vulgar in there. I ripped into them. I made a really big scene last time I was there. I didn't get banned. They don't refuse to work with me, but I refuse to go back there and deal with them. I'm not dealing with that crap. They called me up, the general manager called me, and he was like, "You gave us the worst review we've ever had." And I was like, "Yep." He's like, "Can I talk with you about it?" And I was like, "Nope." Talk with the person I dealt with. Hung up on him. Fuck them. It's like, oh man, I don't even want to talk about that anymore. I'm trying to be in a better mood. I'm like, there's been so much negativity this last couple of weeks. So yeah, let's not dwell on the negativity. So let's just quickly go over this one more time. I've been out. This will be out on the road for exactly 2 weeks. Exactly 2 weeks. Roughly $9,500 over those 2 weeks. Roughly $4,700 per week. And my bring home would be roughly $3,700 per week. So let's break this down into a normal situation, because my situation isn't normal. The big thing about my situation that is abnormal is that my truck's paid off. Most people that get into trucking, they get into trucking because they're in a really shitty situation. They have a bad job and they're looking for something better. A lot of people, that's a lot of people coming into trucking. Trucking is a way for them to escape whatever it is that they're in. And it's a shitty job. Well, I didn't have a shitty job. I had a nice job, and I had, money saved up, and I was able to pay cash for a truck whenever I decided to become an owner-operator. I've been planning this for a couple of years. This isn't just something I did on a whim. That's not everybody's situation. There's a lot of people that they have to scrounge the money just to put a deposit on a truck. So let's talk about a normal situation of somebody getting into the industry and becoming an owner-operator. Let's say that you have a normal truck payment. And in my opinion, a normal truck payment is a $500 a week truck payment. That is a fairly normal truck payment. If you have like a $1,000 a week truck payment, it's because you went out and bought a brand new truck. Why the hell did you do that? If you take a week off, you're going to fall $1,000 behind. So next time you go out, you have to make $2,000 before you even start making money. I've heard, like, that is one of the nightmare stories that you're going to hear all the time, are these people that have huge operating costs, huge fixed weekly costs, and they go and take a little bit of time off, and then they're spending like a month trying to get caught back up to where they're actually making money again. If you have huge operating costs, huge fixed weekly costs, variable costs, yeah, you want to keep that as much within your control as you can, but fixed weekly costs, if you have really high fixed weekly costs, you are tethered to this truck. You can't take time off. If you ever do, you're falling behind, and you're going to be even more stressed out when you're out on the road. You're going to have to work twice as hard. You're going to have to stay out longer. It's going to suck. Life is going to suck. If you can't go out and pay cash for a truck like I did, buy a cheap truck to start with. Buy something cheap. Or if you can find some amazing lease that's like a full like maintenance lease or something that's at a reasonable price, do something like that. But keep your fixed weekly costs as low as possible. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to take any time off. You're going to get burnt out, and you're going to end up walking away. So let's say $500 because you were reasonable and you bought some $30,000 used truck, and you've got a plan to pay it off in 2 years at $500 a week. Is that possible? Let me do the math on that. Where's my calculator? So 52, 104 weeks, 104 times 500, that's $52,000. Hell yeah, you can buy a $30,000 truck at $500 a week and pay it off within 2 years. And that's with a hell of an interest payment. So, yeah. You might actually have like $350 a week payments if you buy a $30,000 truck. And there are a lot of $30,000 trucks out there that you can haul freight with. So if you were in that situation where you had a $500 truck payment, which I don't have, then instead of $3,700 a week, you would have made $3,200 a week. That's it. Easy math. Instead of $9,500 over 2 weeks, you would have made $8,500 over 2 weeks. Easy math. So $3,000 a week is fairly solid. My goal whenever I did this, and I made videos on this a long time ago. I think even before I went to CDL school, I made videos about what my expectations were. How much money did I want to make? And the way I saw it is that if I made any less than $90,000 a year as an owner-operator, it wasn't worth it. $90,000 a year was the absolute minimum to make it even tolerable to be an owner-operator. So if you get out and you crush it, and you're making $3,700 a week, you're not going to work 52 weeks a year. That's just not going to happen. Let me pull. Why did I close out of the calculator? But let's say you did work 52 weeks a year. 52 times 3,700. That's almost $200,000 a year. That's pretty good money. That's a good living. That's more money than I thought that I could make at USA Truck. But the loads are paying a lot better than the load board that I looked at whenever I was, theory crafting all this stuff. Now let's do something a lot more realistic. I like to use 40 weeks in a year, 12 weeks off per year. And I might end up taking more time than that off. But 40 times 3,700, that's still $148,000 a year. As long as whenever I go out on the truck, I crush it. I make really good money. I get close to that 4,500 or more per week. Then I can take crazy. Let's say 26 weeks. Let's say I work half a year, and I take half a year off. 26 times 3,700. That's $96,200 a year. So if I only work 6 months a year, I'm going to make almost $100,000 as long as I keep doing what I'm doing. And it's not just me. The other thing that has to fall in line with this is the rates. Right now, the freight rates are really good. So the amount of money I'm making right now is, it may not be possible to keep making this much money if rates go back down. But everything I'm looking at right now, like you just saw it. I just told you the math on it. Like, if I only worked half a fucking year, 6 months, then I'm meeting my minimum goal of $90,000 a year as an owner-operator. If you go back and watch some of my first videos when I was talking about my expectations and breaking down like how much I thought that I could make a week at USA Truck and all that stuff, my upper limit with USA Truck, I thought that it was like the theoretical limit, the absolute max you could make with USA Truck, I thought was about $150,000 a year. And I didn't think it was practical. Like $150,000 a year was if you never took any time off. You just did a 34 every week. You never had anything bad happen, and you just ran all week, every week. You ran an optimal week every week, did a 34, ran again. You did that for a year straight. You could make up to $150,000 a year at USA Truck. I thought that was unrealistic, but that was a theoretical maximum. I thought a more realistic was like $110,000 if I have a really solid year, and if things go really well for me, then I could make up to $120,000 a year. And if I took almost no time off, I thought that maybe the maximum realistic amount that I could make would be about $130,000 a year at USA Truck. With the rates the way they are right now, and picking the loads the way I pick loads, and moving freight the way I move freight, doing what I'm doing, $200,000 a year is the maximum that I think I could possibly make. A maximum realistic. Like, if I didn't take any time off, like if I quit being a lazy bastard like I am, taking fucking 2 weeks off at a time and shit, if I stopped doing that and I just went home, did a 34 and hit the road again, I think I could maybe make close to $200,000 a year with USA Truck. But again, there's a whole ton of things to factor in. Like, in the winter, can I move as much freight in the winter? January, I hear, is a really bad month, and freight really doesn't start picking up until like March. So, you got a couple of months of the year that are just slow. But then you also have big boom months at the end of the year that I haven't even hit those yet. So am I going to be making like $1 million a week when we hit those boom months? I really want to have my truck in good working order as quickly as possible, because we're fast approaching the holiday boom. Whenever these businesses are going to need, like, a lot of these businesses, almost their entire annual revenue is made in like a single week in the holidays, or a single month in the holidays, or like a single quarter. Like, they don't make any money all year, and then in this one quarter during the holidays, that's when they make all their money. So they're desperate to get their freight where it needs to be, because if anything happens, their whole year is fucked, because this is the boom period for them. So I want to be ready to gobble up as much money as I can during the last quarter of this year, because that's when I think freight rates are going to just be just crazy. I don't even think we've hit crazy yet. The freight rates are really good. I keep seeing messages from the driver managers and from the director about how amazing the freight rates are. Let me tell you. He sent a message out earlier today. Let me look at it, talking about how amazing the rates are. Was it today? Where the hell is it? Here it is. Today at 12:36 p.m. Central. I want to give you a quick market update. The rate environment is still increasing! Exclamation mark. Last week, the IC, Independent Contractor Program, averaged a rate of $2.53 per loaded mile from the customer before fuel surcharge. So what he's talking about is the full line haul rate, which is all that USA Truck gives a shit about, because they don't see a penny of the fuel surcharge or any of that stuff. The only thing they care about is the full line haul rate. So that's the number that they look at. These are averages, and not all loads will pay that much. However, it is the positive trend we have all been hoping for. Now is a good time to get as many loads as safely and legally possible to turn within the week. If you need help getting loads, please contact your capacity manager. Also, tolls will be coming out this Friday. If you need the amount, please contact your capacity manager. We also have a new video out on the Driver Hub, and we hope you will take time to view. LaDonna will be giving the update. Make sure we are watching for school buses and stay away from traffic clusters as school has started back. As always, thank you for all you do, Marcia. So that's the operations manager, my manager's manager. Brandon, which is Marcia's manager, the director. Brandon's the director. Brandon, Marcia, my manager. Everybody's been sending out messages talking about how awesome the market is. $2.53 a mile is what the owner-operators are averaging right now. When I was looking at USA Truck as a company, on how well they were doing, because they're a publicly traded stock. Words. Is that dyslexia? I'm thinking like 2 steps ahead of what I'm saying. That's the reason my words get all messed up. They were averaging like $2.11 per mile across the fleet last time I checked with them. And that was on loaded miles. That was not like every single mile. I think that was just on loaded miles. $2.11 per mile. Now that's the full rate that USA Truck makes. And if you look at, let's go back over here. Let me look at the spreadsheet. $2.53 a mile. How am I doing in comparison to the fleet? Am I bringing that average up or down? Let's see. Let's equal sum of J2 through, it doesn't really matter. Let's do like J20. So that's my total miles, and equals sum of where is it? H2 through, let's do H20. So that's the total paid miles, and that's the total line haul revenue. And let's equal sum of N12 divided by M12. $3.47 a mile is what I'm averaging. So I'm averaging almost $1 a mile more than the fleet average. So I am bringing the average up. Yay. So, yeah. But that's not including all my empty miles, but they don't include empty miles in their figures. They just look at the loaded paid miles. I have a lot of empty miles. So that's 4,000 miles over a 2-week period. If you factored in all of my empty miles, there's probably I'm probably running 3,000 miles a week instead of 2,000 miles a week. There's probably 1,000 miles a week of empty miles, would be my guess. So I think I've done close to six. I will have done, when this week is over these 2 weeks, I think I will have done a total of about 6,000 miles. So, but yeah, everything's going good. The amount of money that you're able to make at USA Truck is a lot higher than I thought possible. And I don't know if it's only because of how well the market is right now, how good the market is, or maybe it's because of the Clorox contract that they got. Maybe it's because maybe they have more brokered loads than they used to have. I don't know if things have changed within USA Truck that have got us better paying loads, or if it is just simply the market right now. But as much as I want to get on with Landstar, if things stay the way they are or keep improving at USA Truck, I don't have a whole lot of incentive to move over to Landstar if I can make this much money at USA Truck. Now, if I could make considerably more than this at Landstar, then yeah, there's still incentive to move over there. But if this is comparable to what I could make at Landstar, this is what I expected I could make at Landstar, was about $200,000 a year. If I busted my ass, I thought that I could make about $200,000 a year. I thought it would be fairly easy to make $150,000 a year at Landstar based on the rates that I saw. And $200,000 a year, if, I wasn't as lazy as I am. I'm not a lazy person, but I have been taking a lot of time off, so I'm harassing myself a little bit. And I thought that, almost the sky was the limit at Landstar, because there are a lot of weird specialty things that you can do over there. Like, you can sign on to, haul somebody's concert equipment around on tour for a month or 3 months or whatever, and they'll pay you $150,000 for 3 months, or they'll pay you $50,000 for a month to do something. There's all kinds of weird shit like that on Landstar's load board. So I don't know. If things keep improving at USA Truck, and the amount of money you can make over here keeps going up, then it may make me, I may not try so hard to get over to Landstar. But it's something I'll have to research at the time. Whenever I finally hit my year where I can get on with Landstar, I'll have to compare the two and see where USA Truck stacks up against Landstar. Even with everything as it is right now, the only reason I make this much money is because I bounce around getting unicorn loads. If you look at my loads there, look at these loads in the spreadsheet. How much are these things paying? $1,500 to go 180 miles. $829 to go 140 miles. $3,100 to go 1,000 miles. $2,500 to go 660 miles. $1,500 to go 500 miles. $1,200 to go 500 miles. $3,100 to go 831 miles. All of these loads are paying really high rates per mile. I don't have a column here that shows what the full rate per mile is on this load. I just have the rate per mile that I make. And I'm making $5.24 a mile, 403, 208. Like I said, my average down here that I'm making per mile is $3.47 per mile. But that is only because I'm bouncing around on unicorn loads. These loads right here are fairly common on Landstar's load board. These are like normal loads. On USA Truck's load board, they're unicorns. Most of the loads on the load board are like $1.40 a mile, $1.30 a mile. They're not $3.50 a mile. And the $3.50 is what I make. Most of the loads on there much lower than that. Much lower than that. It's just because that there are these unicorn loads on there. Those are not average, they're not normal. So I don't know how easily it will be to reproduce these weeks. Because, like, I don't know. Like, every time I've gone out, I've just, well, aside from maybe, like, my first week, once I found out that there were much better paying loads than the normal crap you see on the board, then I sit around and wait to find those loads. And I've increased my search radius, and I'm willing to deadhead further for those loads because they pay so much better than the normal crap on the board. And if you're an owner-operator with a USA Truck, that's what I recommend that you do. Be willing to deadhead further if the load pays enough to justify it. Increase your search radius, increase your minimum revenue. I'm not going to give you a definite number, but I do $1,000 typically, and just see what pulls up. And if I get a ton of loads at that, then maybe I'll increase it to $1,500. But don't settle just because something's only 10 miles away and it pays $1.20 a mile. Don't settle for that crap. Drive 150 miles to go pick up a load that pays $5 a mile. It's worth it. Look at it from how much are you going to make per day on the load. Don't look at it on deadhead miles and all this stuff. Think of deadhead miles, like, you save so much in fuel. Like, it costs you so much less to move an empty truck than like a max weight truck. I get like 10 miles a gallon on deadhead. So if I'm deadheading 200 miles, what is that? That's like, oh my goodness, $20? $20 in fuel? No. That's 20 gallons. Is that 20 gallons? Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to break out a calculator. I'm tired. I've been up since like 6 a.m. I've been up for almost 14 hours. Actually, it's been almost 15 hours. So if you're doing a 200-mile deadhead, let me figure out how much that would cost you. So 200 divided by 10 is 20. And then, so that's 20 gallons roughly that you're going to use times $2 per gallon. So $40. If you deadhead 200 miles, it's going to cost you $40 in fuel. And if the load is going to pay you an extra $800 to $1,000, it's worth it. That's worth it. $40. Now, it's hard to put a price on your time and your clock and all that stuff, but in general, it's going to cost you $40. So, just stop hauling cheap shit. So anyway, that's it for the video. I better stop it and upload it before it gets too long. Otherwise, the file size just be too damn big. Let's look at the load board real quick. I'm not going to pull any loads, but let's see if there is an awesome load coming out of Houston that popped up on the board. I know some of you sons of bitches live over in Georgia and North Carolina. Those are probably good-looking loads to you. The mediocre load, roughly $2 a mile to go to Georgia. This isn't even a very good load. It's a lot less than $2 a mile. $2 a mile is like the midpoint on loads for me. It's like I think $2 a mile should be normal. That should be like the baseline. I really don't think anything should be less than $2 a mile on the full rate. Not how much I make, but the full rate. Anything I see that's less than $2 a mile kind of pisses me off. This is some dollar a mile worthless piece of shit. I'm going to have to look at who that jackass is. Trane TCS. Trane. That's probably the air conditioning company, Trane. Going to Yandle. Building supplies. General freight. So this is not a brokered load. High mileage. Almost 1,000 miles, paying $1,000. $2 a mile going to a shit market. There's probably no loads within 250 miles of Albuquerque on USA Truck's load board. Bentonville, Arkansas. That's the headquarters of Walmart. How much you want to bet that's a Walmart load? And it's paying pretty decent. It's $4 a mile. maybe a little bit more than $4 a mile. Fort Worth Dry Mixing to Walmart. It's a brokered load. So any load that you typically see that's over $3 a mile is a brokered load. The division on here is BRK. That means brokered or brokerage. Something to do with a broker. Kansas City, Missouri from Roanoke. Ooh, Roanoke has a Procter & Gamble distribution center. This is roughly just a hair under $3 a mile. But Kansas City's a really good market. And this is North Dallas. Dallas to Kansas City, $3 a mile, almost. And Kansas City is a really good market. That's actually a really good load. Tempur Sealy mattress going to DHL in Kansas City. 10,000 pounds of foam padding. It is a brokered load. So that is not coming out of the Procter & Gamble, but that is still a good load. That is a decent paying load going to a really good market. Another crappy Albuquerque load. A little over $2 a mile to go to Chicago. Not a bad load. Fort Worth to Colorado. You do not go to Colorado on USA Trucks load board. It's paying a little over $3 a mile. Decent, but not on USA Trucks load board. This is some shit dollar a mile crap. Who is the asshole posting this? Kimberly Clark. Fuck you, Kimberly Clark. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Shit load. Here's one. It's a little over $3 a mile. No wait. Yeah, a little over 3 something. Port Allen, Louisiana to Seagoville, Texas. I've never heard of either of those two cities. O'Reilly Auto Parts. A brokered load. Over $3 a mile. It's brokered. San Antonio to Olathe, Texas. I want to say I saw this load earlier and I thought about grabbing it. TJ Maxx to TJ Premier Transportation to TJX Premier Transportation. So it's going like TJ Maxx to TJ Maxx. That's a general freight load. That is paying roughly $2 a mile. $2 a mile. Going to Mississippi. Another crappy New Mexico load. Another crappy New Mexico load. Indiana at pretty crap rate. Another, like, you don't want to go to Arizona on USA Trucks load board. That's a pretty crappy $2 a mile load. Another $2 a mile load. Crap. Now, when I say crap, I'm not sure exactly where this is in Kansas, but these all these Kansas loads that are paying $2 a mile, the San Antonio to Kansas, they don't have a weight listed on here, which means they're probably max weight loads. But if this is near Kansas City, then it's going into a good market. And $2 a mile to go into a good market is a solid load. St. Charles, I don't know where that's at in Illinois. A little under $2 a mile. Right at $3 a mile. Houston to Siloam Springs, Arkansas. That's a fairly solid load. Brokered load. Great Wide to ProPack. Great Wide's a trucking company. Going to ProPack. So we might be moving some freight for another company. I don't know. Maybe it's different from the Great Wide Trucking Company. Great Wide Distribution. 40,000 pounds. Going to Siloam Springs. I forget where Siloam Springs is at. I want to say that's close to Little Rock. Now it's got to be South Arkansas if it's only 520 miles. Siloam Springs, Arkansas. I was watching Trucker Jukebox's video on why he took a break from YouTube, and it's because of trolls, people talking shit in his comments. Whoa. This Siloam Springs is putting you up. That's next to Bentonville and all this area up here. So that's in the northwest rather. Put you up next to Tulsa. I mean, I could have gone home on that load. It would have been a bigger deadhead to get to my house because I live in Oklahoma City. My load's going to Tulsa right here. This one, Siloam Springs, over by Fayetteville, Rogers, Bentonville. Bentonville right here is where the Walmart headquarters are at. But that's a lot of highway driving. I mean, I guess you could take Interstate 49 up here and then the 412 across to get to Siloam Springs. But, man, from Houston to Siloam Springs, because Houston's right here. Siloam Springs is straight north, and there really is not an interstate that goes straight north. Yeah. Is this an... I mean, you could basically take Highway 59 up to 20, take 20 across onto 49, and take 49 to Texarkana, but 49 doesn't continue on north. 49 is kind of like a replacement for old Highway 71. So you could take 71 up to Fort Smith, and then 49 starts up again, and then you could take 49 the rest of the way up. I don't know how in the hell you would get up there, in all honesty. I don't know what the best route for that would be. The best route might be to come up 59 up through here, and then up to 30, and where is it? 351? Not 351. What am I thinking of? It's Highway 69 or so. Anyway, I could spend an hour sitting here route planning on this to figure out what the best route to get here is. But there is this thing. It's this one. What is this? The Indian Nation Turnpike. Does it have? It's got to have a highway designation. But this Indian Nation Turnpike comes down through here. But you could hop on this thing and take it up, and then take like 69 across right here to 40. And then basically just take 69 all the way up to the 412, and then take the 412 across. But yeah, that's an all highway drive. Man, that'd be a fucking shit. I wouldn't want to do that. Like, fuck that. I would probably take interstates all the way up to Oklahoma City and then cut across, and it'd take me like an extra 2 hours, but fuck all that highway driving. I'm not about that life. So in general, I'm not seeing any load on here that is better than the load that I ended up getting. Let's flip over to the spreadsheet. The load I ended up getting is this one right here, which is basically going to Bowling Green, Kentucky. And it's 831 miles, paying $3,100. I'm making $2.54 a mile on it. I'm making $2,100. The amount of money I'm making on my load is more than what a lot of these loads. I'm making $2,100 on my load after the 65% cut, and that's more than almost all of these loads their total pay is, and a lot of them are around 800 miles. So the load that I ended up getting is way better than any of the shit that's on the load board. So it looks like I'm doing good. I did good. I got a good load. I snagged it up within a few minutes of it getting on the load board. So Yeah, the only negative, I think it's a heavy load. I think it's a max weight load. But let's check this out real quick. Let me make sure I've got this set to browser. I do. Let's do Houston, Texas to... Oh, shit. This one's already set from Houston, Texas to Scottsville. So Scottsville, right next to Bowling Green right here. Right here's Bowling Green. I'm going to Scottsville. I'll probably trip plan this while I'm getting unloaded tomorrow. But what is this Highway 100 like? Scottsville Road. So I can take Interstate 65 all the way up to like right there, and then take Scottsville Road over to Scottsville. So that looks good. Is this an interstate? What is this? Interstate 40. So this is looks like it's having me take 30. Just a second. Let me pause this. All right, we're on pause. Sorry, I had to spit. Looks like it's having me take. This looks like 30 up to Little Rock, and then I'm taking 40 to Memphis, and 40 all the way to Nashville, and then taking 65 up. And it looks like I'm taking 59, 315, 259, 59, 59, 59. So that looks like actually a good route. And somebody replied to one of my videos earlier and said the 59 is a really good highway in Texas. It has like a 75 mile an hour speed limit. It's basically like an interstate. So this looks like it's going to be a pretty damn easy run, because I just take 59, basically just 59, and a couple other highways, all the way up to Texarkana. Is this 2-lane divided? That is not. Why does it have me taking the 43 instead of the 59 over here? Well, I'm not going to follow this bullshit that Google's given me. I'll stay on the 59 over here, because it's 2-lane divided highway. But I'll basically probably just take the 59 all the way up to Texarkana, and then the 30, and then the 40, and then the 65, was it? Yeah, 65. I'll have to check and see what this little Highway 100 or County Road 100, whatever the fuck this is, because I may actually have to like come out and take this 31 and 231 up to Scottsville. Looks like that's just a 2-lane road as well, but it's a highway, whereas this is like, I don't know what the fuck this is. If I take 65, I may have to go all the way up to Bowling Green and then come back down on Highway 231 to Scottsville, which is the route that I might take, because that looks like it's a divided highway. Let's measure the distance. Um, 14 miles, 14.28 miles. So for an extra, like, because it's 14 miles there, and then, you know, approximately 14 miles back down, versus clear measurement. Measure. $18 miles. So it's roughly 14 miles further. 12 miles further, somewhere in that area. So I'm probably not going to take this bullshit 100 right here. I'm probably going to drive the extra 12 to 14 miles up to this 9007 and cut over to the 231 and then take the 231 down to Scottsville. Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck with this whatever the bullshit 100 this thing is. Let's look at the satellite view and see what this Scottsville road looks like. It looks like a road going by a bunch of residential houses, and it's 18 miles of this road, so it's a decent little jaunt. And it's probably like 35 miles, 45 miles an hour in some places, and the max speed limit's probably like 55 miles an hour. I mean, it's got a decent shoulder on it. And then let's turn this off so it downloads faster. And then leaving Scottsville, Henderson, Kentucky. Add a destination, Henderson, Kentucky. Well, I like all the interstates and everything getting up to here, but not sure about... Alright, that's a nice divided road. Nice divided road. Nice divided road. So yeah, this looks like a good route to get over to Henderson. Nice divided, the Abaddon Parkway. And then from Henderson going to Tulsa... Let's scroll out here. Ooh, man. I don't know what route Google would want me to take, but I would not be taking whatever in the fuck route Google would want me to take, I don't think. Because Google is probably going to want me to take the 41 down, 69, the 24, and then it's going to have me take Highway 60 all the way over to Springfield. Which might not be a bad route, because I have taken Highway 60 leaving from West Memphis. I've gone up through Jonesboro, up through here to get to Springfield. So, yeah, it's probably going to have me take Highway 60. 60 actually goes right into Henderson. Holy shit. When does it turn into a two-lane divided highway? Yeah, screw that crap. But I go south out of here and then hit the 69, the 69, the 69, and I cut across here. It's either, you know, cut across on highways and all kinds of bullshit right here and then hit 44 in Springfield and then take that to Tulsa, or I just go north a few miles, hit Interstate 64, 64 over to St. Louis, and then 44 to Tulsa. Let's see what Google says. Google, oh, wow. Google didn't have me do all that highway hopping. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be an easy drive to Tulsa from Henderson, because I'm just going to drive a few miles north and hop on Interstate 64, 64 to St. Louis, 44 to Tulsa. But that's my route. It looks like a big fucking question mark. Like a scribbly, nasty, like... I probably wrote it with my left hand, question mark. Is what it looks like. So I'm going Houston to Scottsville, Scottsville to Henderson, Henderson to Tulsa. And then I'm going to sit at home and be lazy for an untold amount of time. I don't know exactly how long I'm going to sit home and be lazy. But I need to end this video because the size is going to be astronomical. So I'm going to end this video, watch some Netflix or something, and I need to get up at about 8 a.m. tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. I'll probably get up about 8 a.m. and it's only 9 p.m. right now. So I have like 11 hours until I need to get up. So I've got a few hours to kill. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. And I hope that you're getting all the unicorn loads, and I hope it's all working out for you. If you're not already driving for USA Truck, then I hope whatever it is you're doing is awesome. And whatever plans you have to improve, I hope they work out. I hope for nothing but the best for everyone. So I wish you the best in whatever it is that you're doing or trying to do. So good luck, have fun, and I'll talk with you later. Bye.